Hey everybody, wanna wheeze them here. It's now, I guess, Tuesday, October 22nd, still Monday night to me, so we'll roll with that. Just unboxed Slobbertooth and then Scorp. Those are our two brand new Swap Force Newlanders, if you will. Really surprised Scorp came out as early as he did. That note, I'm actually really surprised that this Wave 2 assortment hit us as soon as it did, that being Wednesday of launch week essentially. So Sunday, 2 days off, and then boom, back on the chase. So speaking of that, Chase McCain's hidden. That worked out pretty well for us. I just, like I said, did Slobbertooth. Of course, he's paired there on the portal with his dark version. Then Scorp. Chose to do that. Ordinarily would have gone in order, like release day and then Wave 2. The reason I'm skipping that, primarily Scorp and Riptide, two of my most anticipated Skylanders. That's who we're going to focus on now, is actually Riptide. I just thought he looked cool again. I didn't base this on reading a story, looking at gameplay, watching the preview videos on the website, none of that stuff. Just basically I went through, it was the same thing I asked in the blog poll. Based on how the characters look, which one are you most excited about? So, my answer again being Scorp, that you see right there, and then Riptide. Just thought he looked like he'd be a really fun character to play with. Could bring a lot to the water element. I think Punk Shock's probably going to go over pretty well. That's his, I guess, female counterpart. That will be our Swap Force Newlanders. That said, I was stoked to get Scorp and Riptide this early, so really excited on that. And that said, there's a look at that box art. Really cool looking character in my opinion. Figure also equally impressive. You see there? Go Fish. That is his slogan. He's of course Water Element. Picked him up at Toys R Us on Wednesday. He was actually there. I've yet to not see stock when I've gone back into Toys R Us on the Newlanders. That being, like Riptide, Scorp, etc. Starstrike, her regular pose, seemed to be the toughest one to find. But if you dig around a little bit, you could find several of them just stashed behind something else. Oftentimes behind their light core when employees were probably just in a hurry stocking things. That said, not $10.99, I'm sorry, would be Toys R Us's price. $9.99 anywhere else. It should be hitting other stores and websites pretty soon. He just looks like he's going to be really fun in my opinion. Coming around to the backside, there's my main man Countdown. Again, I've been excited about him as well. This makes sense. That works for me. It's not necessarily an aquatic setting, but it has that look and feel. It might be on snow if he's on pavement. It could be like a windmill, a lighthouse. Who knows what it is in the background, but it just doesn't look as out of place as like a scorpion in the snow. So that said, the promo characters here, check them out. We got LC Starstrike, Lava Bar for Ruptor, Bumble Blast, and Slobbertooth. Again, being a Swap Force Newlander, cannot stress this enough. That means he is compatible only in Skylander Swap Force. Again, the characters, people say, well, I've heard they work in all the games. That is in relation to the Old Guard, Ghost Roaster, Warnado, Flashwing, Fright Rider. All those SSA and Giants characters work in Swap Force. Just fighting off a sneeze there. Again, allergies are pretty bad this time of year for me. But basically it means, I can't take Riptide, go throw him on SSA, and take him through my favorite level there. So that said, we've covered the packaging, covered the price, covered the location. Again, those details that you're used to seeing on the video description, if you actually read the video description, I'm just going to keep those on the blog, and that way you can just take the link. I'll have pictures of Riptide, packaging by himself, etc. Lots of details there, slogans, background story. Eventually I'll get basically anything and everything you'd want to know up on the blog, and the video description will just be kept a little shorter. That said, he also cut up pretty well, basically the same thing we've seen with Giants. I was able to save the packaging, entirely. With Swap Force, that hasn't been the case thus far, but there's our view from the back. Not as cool as with the Swappers, because they've got the card here with the regular Skylanders. Just like we saw with our next Wave 2, or our previous Wave 2 Scorp, that is taped. The Slobbertooth one was not taped. Not that anyone cares, but I just tell you what I see. So, let's go ahead and get him out again. The issue for me is just trying not to bend the card and the name tag. So, Generally, if you get it by the base, he's going to be really cool, by the way. You're doing well. The way I like to get the card out is actually to bend that down. However, it's a bit problematic here. We don't want to rip it out and bend it. There we go. The tape. I don't guess it was taped on one side. Actually, it was. Okay, it just came off. Anyway, Riptide. There is his stat card. Looks really cool there, just like the box art. Very fitting for him. Again, he's got the swordfish going on. Power, 120 of 200. Armor, 70 of 200. Agility, pretty impressive, 75 of 200. Luck, 55 of 200. Put that all together, what is that, 130, 200, 320? So he, just like Scorp, is 320. That's plus 10 over Slobbertooth. We'll have to see if that correlates to all the Wave 1 and Wave 2 releases. Behind there we have a sticker sheet. Again, you can use that for your storage cases, notebooks, the wall, whatever you want to do, keep it on the deal. Behind there is a web code, QR code, name. I can't really show you the web code because, of course, people take those. That's it. Riptide. Stoked to see this guy. He looks like he is going to be very well done. Really like that color schematic there. Again, you see more gold. I don't know. Granted, I realize that appeals to the majority of people. I'm not one of them. I prefer like a platinum or a silver. However, looks great on him. He's got a lot of nice contrast here. What I'm really interested in is what would he look like without the armor. Obviously, he's wearing some armor. Don't know if that's going to be something that he gets later in the game, or if that's just how he is from the beginning. We'll have to kind of see on that. His feet almost blend in perfectly with the water base there. Again, swappers have the blue base. Really, I mean, almost an ideal color match for the water element plant. Again, the feet, the three toes, they are there. It's just really hard to see them. The armor, it looks like he has kind of like a sea gold color. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. It does to me, so I'll run with that. But coming up, it's all through there. The skin, the way I like this, the top side has kind of got scales on it. You can pick up on that there. The bottom side's smooth. That's an interesting contrast. The other thing I like is that two-tone. You've got the top end and the bottom color almost split perfectly down the seam there. Same on the other arm. On the top of the head, you've got, I'm not up with my fish anatomy, but whatever that is, the fin, door, I don't know. I just know it's there and it looks cool. Probably think of it if I wanted to, but I'm not up for that right now. Looks really good. I've got that into focus finally for you, but you can see the scale detail on the top of his head there. Check out the teeth. He also, like Drilla and Scorp, kind of has that menacing look to him. It's hard to explain, but I mean, it gives personality to a static figure, so that's very cool. Nicely done, in other words. Right here, the swordfish. Look at the detail on that guy. It's also sporting some two-tone colors. Kind of a dark, like dark edition or legendary type bluish black. Really vivid on the eyes. Again, there's detail even on the inside eye, which a lot of things just would have been cast aside. But right there, it's almost like a metallic silver or a chrome paint. It's almost like you would paint on a model car on the bumper or something. So very impressive detail even on the swordfish he's holding. There's a good look at him from a distance. You can kind of feel the swordfish there. It contrasts nicely actually against that gold armor back there. If you can see it, I think you can now, right above the index finger. They got the Water Element logo there. I didn't actually see Earth Element anywhere on Scorp or Slobbertooth. That's kind of interesting. I know I'd have seen it if they would have put it somewhere. So kind of interesting there. That's usually something that you see. I'm losing my voice yet again. That said, we're going to go ahead and cover his background story. I mean, this guy just looks awesome, though. Again, he could be horrible. I don't know. I've not played him. Based on the way this guy looked, I thought I was going to like him. So, generally, that tends to ring true. It's really rare that I'm disappointed to the point where I just say, yeah, I was wrong. But I've got high hopes for this guy. Pretty heavy. Again, he's got a lot of detail here, so that may explain that. Riptide was known far and wide as one of the best aqua fighters in Skylanders. He mastered a multitude of water techniques and astonished tournament spectators. with his ability to adapt his fighting style to any opponent. Amongst his repertoire were sword fist finishing, hammerhead heaving, and even the rare blubber whale wallop, which he had used on numerous occasions in the legendary Rumble in the Reef. His unrivaled skill as a swordsman soon drew the attention of Master Eon, but when Chaos learned of this, he sent forth a legion of squid-faced brutes to stop Riptide before he could join the Skylanders. And everyone knows how that turned out, except for the squid-faced brutes who, after being knocked senseless, can't remember a thing. Very cool story there. Again, he kind of built up a reputation in his homeland. Eon seeks him out. Chaos, in turn, not necessarily in this case, was seeking him out to be a minion, but didn't want him to be a Skylander. Sent the squid-faced brutes to put an end to that, and Riptide took care of that. So, cool to see, some of the old enemies get mentioned. A couple locations, again, we might see at some point in the distant future. But really nice background story, and again, just a good-looking character overall. That said, he is unique in one aspect here. I've been skimming his powers ahead of time. He begins, basically, his primary attack is going to be whatever fish is currently held. I assume they're either going to alternate based on what you've done, or it'll be akin to like Pop Fizz, where you can change the potions. He can do quick attacks with the swordfish, or he can do slower attacks with the shark that'll just deal a little bit more damage. Attack 2, you throw the current fish. Let's see, it also changes between swordfish and shark. Eventually, your tertiary attack is going to be, basically a whale. He heaves it over his head and just slams a whale down on enemies. The Soul Gem, I think, addresses that. Pretty sure, I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to throw some fish when he wallops that. But the thing that's unique about him is you don't really pick, like if you're going to upgrade, the primary, sword strike and shark hammer, or if you're going to upgrade, throwing the fish. You're going to address, one fish or the other, that being the swordfish or the shark. The swordfish, it looks like, is going to be Fishy Fencer. It basically just comes in and it is what it is. You address the swordfish attacks. It addresses both primary and secondary. It's going to increase damage across the board, but only with the swordfish, which is kind of going to be good, like say for your smaller chompy type enemies, cleaning house out really quick. Flounder Pounder Path addresses the shark. And again, this isn't, attack 1 and attack 2, primary, secondary. This is actually swordfish or shark. In this case, it's the shark. It's essentially going to be a slower version, but again, deal more damage. So, kind of a unique aspect. We have not seen that with any Skylander yet, at least that I can think of or know of at this point in time. So, keep that one in mind. But I think he's going to be a lot of fun to play as. Hopefully, he'll do good damage, be well-rounded, and someone that everyone will enjoy having. I think there may be a chase variant to this guy, not 100% sure. I'll try to chronicle that on the blog if I get some time. I'm still trying to catch up, in all honesty, get everything unboxed and get the playthrough rolling, etc. Anyway, this was Riptide, $10.99 at Toys R Us. He's part of the Wave 2 early release Toys R Us, which was last Wednesday, right after launch Sunday, believe it or not. Again, I was stoked for him and Scorp. I said they're two of my most anticipated Newlanders, and there they were, Wednesday, right after launch. So I'm a very happy person right now. And again, he just looks odd. He could be a horrible character, and I would still like him just based on his pose. It's done really, really well. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes in gameplay, how his voice sounds, everything like that. But I will save that for another time. I'm going to come back in here and continue the unboxing streak. We'll see what we can't do. But, as Riptide would say, go fish.